Stanton, the National League MVP last year, swung on and drilled to deep right center field. It is high, it is far, it is gone! It is first Yankee at bat. Giancarlo non si può stopparlo. It is a Stantonian home run, a 2-run blaster right center in his first Yankee at bat, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
The next 2-2. Davis to left and will hit. Oh my! It's gone! Santa Maria!
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
You're listening to Turn 2 Podcast, presented by Nosebleed Knowledge. Now here's your host, Tucker Franklin.
What is going on, guys? It is episode 2 of Turn 2. I'm here with my boy, KB, Kieran Brennan.
How's it going?
We're here to talk about this week in baseball with you. We'll go ahead and recap this last week. As we were looking at things to talk about, I came across the stat that through 48 games, the Houston Astros starters have only allowed 83 runs. And that's ridiculous.
They are an real team. You look at that Houston team and you see Correa, Springer, Altuve, Bregman. It's like this offense is unreal. But their starters, that Houston team is complete inside and out. And I don't see why they won't be competing for another World Series.
Right, there's no reason they shouldn't be. They have the best ERA by far in baseball with a 2.25 ERA, the best strikeout rate, 30.1%, the lowest average against with 189, and the lowest slugging against with 316. They've done it all while throwing the most innings out of any team with 308.
It's unreal. Garrett Cole's pitching out of his mind. Do you remember when Justin Verlander was just unreal and he had just...
Yeah, the Justin Verlander of Detroit is just tearing it up. You think the one that started dating Kate Upton, when he started dating Kate Upton, he was a stud then.
Yeah. And to think that Dallas Keuchel is probably the one struggling most. The former Cy Young winner is struggling a lot, and he would be any team's one starter, and his team is 3 right now.
Right. That's just wild. We'll move on to another pitcher. Here's a wild stat about Shohei Ohtani. Hitters are 1 for 44 versus his splitter. The first hit happened last night.
That is crazy. That's unreal.
Yeah, we talk about this.
And the guy throws 100 miles an hour.
It's disgusting what he does on the mound. Do you think when he's forced to make a choice between pitcher or hitter, what do you think he'll choose?
Ooh, I'm not sure. That's a good question. Probably pitcher. You know? Mm-hmm. But that's tough.
I did see that we were talking about Justin Verlander earlier. He struck out Ohtani for his 2,500th strikeout of his career. So he struck out Ohtani for us. So that's one you were going to hang up on your wall.
Oh, for sure. I saw somebody's tweet saying they were like, this Ohtani guy, he's overrated. Like, yeah, he struck out in an at-bat against arguably the best pitcher in the majors right now. Like, he's not an overrated guy. He's played probably about 30 games. Have a break.
Right. We'll go ahead and move on to roster moves in baseball. Our boy Robbie Cano, he got popped. 80 games for PEDs.
Yeah, I heard that people were, whenever it was his free agent and the Mariners gave him that big deal that they did give him, I heard that teams were wary because they heard rumors of PED talk. That was one of the reasons the Mariners got him, because they were one of the only teams offering him 8 years. And apparently they were right.
I saw the same thing that you did, and one of the big people they talked about in that was Melky Cabrera. He's getting back to the big leagues. He got called up for the Tribe this past weekend.
He's just always going to have work. You get well into the season, and they're just like, you know what? Throw Melky Cabrera a bone.
Yeah, Melky Cabrera is that veteran outfielder that has a bat that you can always bring off your bench, or if you have somebody hurt, he'll always be old reliable. He'll always bat above the Mendoza line.
Oh yeah, and he's not awful on defense.
No,
I mean, he's not a Gold Glover anymore, but he's not terrible.
And another big roster moves: the Atlanta Braves reliefs Jose Bautista, and Dansby Swanson comes off of the DL.
Man, that was a nice experiment for the Braves to throw Jose Bautista a bone, but now that boy Davey Swanson has come back to hit with Albies and Acuna, they're going to be, this is a healthy ball club.
They're going to be pretty good. You see the videos of their walk-off, like them celebrating it in the clubhouse yesterday?
That's a fun team to be around. They're a young team. If I were the NL East, I'd be looking out for the, I would say look over your shoulder, but there are first place, so.
Go ahead and move on to the Farm Report. This is my favorite segment because it means I get to talk about Vlad Jr. He made his third Pipeline Team of the Week appearance for this season. They all came in the past 4 weeks. This week he had 2 4-hit games for the Fisher Cats and recorded a .516 average in the past 7 days. In May, Vlad Jr. has a slash line of .466, .506, .822 with 6 home runs and 20 RBIs in 19 games.
I do not understand why he's still in Double-A. If you're the Blue Jays have a record of 22 and 25, so they're not exactly in, especially when 2 of the best teams in baseball are in the same division as them. So I just don't understand why you don't throw him and call him up, or call him up to Triple-A, call him up to the majors. This guy is tearing it up.
Phrase of the day, throw him a bone.
Throw him a bone. Yeah. Been leading their league in home runs right now, has only 10 home runs. If he's almost hitting 500 in Double-A, and we see a lot of guys get called straight up from Double-A and just tear it up in the majors, like there's no reason to. The Blue Jays are the leader in home runs, currently has 10. Their leading batting average is .315. You could do no harm here.
No, and he'll only make you better. He's not going to make you worse.
And if he struggles in the majors, send him down to AAA. Couldn't hurt anybody.
Right. Another guy that was on that Pipeline Team of the Week was Alex Reyes. He'll be in the minors pretty soon. He was making 2 rehab starts last week. Struck out 25 batters over 12 and 2/3 scoreless innings between Class A Peoria and Double-A Springfield.
Yeah, it's exciting. Mike Gersh, the Cardinals GM, said he'll be in majors and will be in the rotation. I saw the Cardinals rotation has been killing it. Jack Flaherty struck out 13 yesterday against the Phils. The Cardinals young guns are really stepping up, and it's exciting to watch. Hopefully our manager just doesn't put them.
That's scary, especially with the Royals playing them this week. The Cardinals always seem to get in a groove right before they play the Royals.
I know. This could be a real good series for the Cardinals today in a couple games in the Central race. I hate to say that to you, but the Royals, they've been struggling as of recently, and the Cardinals, with Matt Carpenter's been hitting the ball better. Tyler O'Neill's, I don't know. It'll be a good series. You see Jordan Hicks hit 105, was it 2 or 3 times yesterday?
Yeah, I think he hit it 3 times, and one of them had movement on it.
Yeah, no, that fastball that he throws, that hit 105, that's a sinker. They all have moved. They're all moving down into the side. He only throws 2 pitches, and that's a sinker and a slider. I'm excited. He has a tendency to get a favorite pitcher and overuse him. You saw that with Trevor Rosenthal and Seagrass, and now Trevor Rosenthal had Tommy Juggers. I don't even think he's in majors. So that's what I say. That's what I mean when I say I hope he doesn't ruin them. Mike Matheny wants a deep bullpen, but then he has the tendency to overuse guys. So he's got other guys to use right now. I know a lot of them are the DL, but Gregerson is coming. Gregerson's on his way back. Lyons is on his way back. Bud Norris. We got guys, so you don't have to overuse the young guy just because he threw in his, 22?
Talking about young guys, we have the youngest player this year at 19 to get called up to the majors. He's batting 6th tonight for the Nationals. I forgot his first name.
Juan Soto.
Juan Soto, that's right. I kept wanting to say Giovanni. I knew that wasn't right.
No, that was the
catcher
the
for
Cubs
the Cubs.
Catcher
from
a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was Giovanni. That was the year. I think it was Giovanni Soto for the Cubs and no for the Rays. I think they won a year or something like that. They were both tearing it up, and then they both quickly fell off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
But he's number 15 overall in the majors.
This kid's good. I mean, if you're skipping AAA, coming up from AA right to the bigs, You got to be pretty good.
Yeah, happens a lot with these superstars, though. Not a lot of superstars see AAA time. If they're good by AA, they're like, call them up.
Yeah, that's what they used to do on
And
MLB The Show.
That has no facts, and I have no factual statements behind that.
New power rankings came out for this week. Yankees and Red Sox still top 2. Braves jump up to number 4. What do you think about that top 4 there, KB?
It's a good top 4. Got Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros. Yankees are the hottest team in baseball right now. Red Sox have been a solid ball club from out day one. The Astros, as we touched on earlier in the cast, they have the best rotation in baseball, and the Braves. Actually, I said the Yankees were the hottest team in baseball. I think I changed that. I think the Braves are the hottest team in baseball right now. Yeah, they're exciting. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah, it should be exciting, especially. We'll talk about the series later, but Atlanta and Philly take on each other. That is a series that you did not think would mean anything at the beginning of the season, which now has a whole bunch of meaning.
Oh, yeah. In the power rankings, Philly number 7 and Atlanta's number 4. I mean, that's a big series for the NL East.
Kieran has a bone to pick with ESPN and the Cubbies here. They're 4 spots ahead of the Cardinals and 5 spots ahead of the Brewers, despite having the same record as the Cards and less wins than the Brew Crew.
It's a Cubs-centric universe. The Chicago big market, and I get that ESPN has to appease the big markets. That's why I talk so much about the Yankees and the Cubbies and Dodgers. But it's just like there's no reason for the Cubs. The Cubs are struggling just as hard as the Cardinals and Brewers, and the Brewers are 28-19. They're sitting at the 10 spot, and the Cubs are 20-19 at the 5 spot. So I'm like, I think the Cardinals. I'm not sure, but I think the Cardinals have a better record against the Cubbies this year, and they're sitting 4 spots ahead of them, even though they have the better record. I mean, Cardinals are suffering from a lot of injuries right now, which is probably why they're sitting a little low on the power ranking. But
it's kind of the same thing with the Yankees, too, but the Yankees are actually good now. Do you remember when the Yankees used to be bad, like, a couple of years ago, and they'd still just be all over the Yankees, ESPN and everybody?
Yeah, they're like, when the Yankees are good, then everything you see on sports that involves baseball is the Yankees are really good, and the Yankees are bad. All you see on SportsCenter is why aren't the Yankees really good? And it's just like, you know what, there are 29 other teams you could talk about. You don't have to talk about just one, you know?
Right. Some notable series, we already touched on Atlanta and Philadelphia. The I-70 series starts today, Monday, and goes through Wednesday. That won't be very pretty for the Royals.
It'll be an exciting series. You know, the I-70 series is all for some good baseball. I think the Cardinals, did they win all 4 last year? Or did they?
Yeah, the Cards did win all 4 games last year.
The I-70 series, it'll be an exciting one this year as it is in all the years. The Royals have been struggling, but they always play well. In years past, they've always played well in interleague play, so this could be a good turning point for the Royals. And the Cardinals are kind of heating up now. Their young guns are starting to show up. Matt Carpenter are starting to get it together. So this could be a real turning point for both of these teams.
Let's hope that the Royals can take at least one of these 3. Hey, they beat the Yankees one time, so I'm not upset. 2016 World Series rematch this Tuesday and Wednesday. It's in Chicago. The Indians come to town. The pitcher will have to bat. What do you think about that series, KB?
I'm really hoping this is where the Indians turn it around at. I'm tired of all this Cub talk. But I hate it. But the Indians have been playing well as of recently. They have Bauer going on Tuesday against the Cubs' Tyler Chatwood. And then on Wednesday, they got Adam Plutko versus John Lester. So, I mean, I feel like the Indians will be able to win. The Cubs' offense has been basically a roller coaster of emotions this year. So
we got another good series going on. Another interleague series. This is interleague week. Atlanta is playing Boston in Boston, so Atlanta will be using the DH Friday to Sunday. That series will be a good one. There'll be a lot of young talent playing in that series.
There will be a lot of young talent. The Red Sox, the whole city of Boston, is playing really well with young teams. So it'll be exciting to see. The Braves, they've got Sean Newcomb going up against Rick Porcello on Friday night. Saturday night, they got Julio Teheran versus Eduardo Rodriguez, and then on Sunday they finish off with Fulton Newix versus Chris Sale. So I think the Braves could come out of there with I think the Braves have the better pitcher in two of those, so I think they should be able to come out of there with 2 out of 3. But Boston's a good team, so I think that'll be the best series of the. But we'll talk about it on our next one.
Definitely will. Next time we'll be talking, we'll have 2018 NCAA Tournament Regionals to be discussing. Brackets should be out. They start June 1st and run through June 4th. Those are the regionals played at the 16 campus sites. Then they have the Super Regionals, which is where you play a best-of-3 series against a team. Then we'll have the College World Series preview after that. So an exciting time in college baseball.
I'm excited. I love college baseball. Mizzou made the SEC tournament for the first time now, so I'm excited. This Mizzou is putting it together.
Yeah, they have a great RPI, like 32 or something like that, I think.
Oh, yeah. These Mizzou sports have been stepping it up recently, and I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, but they're still on the bubble from what I understand. They're still on the bubble for the baseball tournament because of their conference record. They went like 22-7 in non-con games, undefeated in midweek non-con games, but still are on the bubble because they played in a tough SEC conference.
Yeah, the SEC is probably the best baseball conference. So, I mean, it would make sense that they would struggle in it. But I think if they can win, I think if they need to put together a couple in the SEC tournament to get into a super regional or a regional.
Yeah, if they can do a regional, I'd like to see it.
I mean, like I said, that SEC conference, Florida's number 1, and then the rest of the teams, top to bottom, the SEC is not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Yeah, Florida's the defending national champion too, so.
They got championships in the water down there in Gainesville.
They're a pretty good baseball team. I watched them last year, and they were impressive, to say the least. Got any final thoughts for us, KB?
Oh, yeah. Nope.
All right, my boy Kieran Brennan. I'm Tucker Franklin. Thanks for listening to Turn 2 Podcast. Make sure to listen to Nosebleed Radio. Comes out on Fridays. Like us on Facebook, Nosebleed Knowledge. Follow us on Twitter at NosebleedsKnow. Thanks for listening to Turn 2. We'll catch you on the flip.